Hello, welcome back to 999. Last episode was so much fun. It was honestly like one of my favorite escape rooms just because it was difficult, but I didn't get frustrated at all. I was actually having a blast, so I really enjoyed it. Not to say any of the other ones were bad, I'm sure it's just personal taste, but I personally loved the Targo room, dude. And it like boosted my ego pretty high after we managed to do it all. So that was super fun. This does seem to be a lore episode if I have to guess though. So I mean, maybe not. I mean, we have a novel. This might lead to a choice, I'm guessing, and it'll lead us to our next ending. Ooh, take your bets right now, because even if there is a nice, well, I mean, I guess, I mean, if there is a nice CG indicating which route we go, even though it would look nice on a thumbnail, I do like to try to hide some sort of mystery about which route I ended up in. That's why I like skipped this CG or whatever it was. So hedge your bets. Am I gonna get the short straw or the long straw? You know what I think I'm gonna get? The long straw, because I am a god at reading in between the lines and choosing the right choices. That's why I got the yellow submarine ending at first, because it's literally the best ending for your first playthrough. See, all on purpose and totally not because I miscalculated like I did with this route. I guess my bad math is actually kind of carrying me to greatness, so that's cool. Anyways, this is right after we left the cargo room. We did it. We found a gun. Nobody grabbed the gun, but it's there. So, I mean, Seven's not with us, so he's not opening doors behind. But if we find someone dead with gunshots in them, you want to either assume it's one of us who did it, one of us four, and us is a Santa, Junpei, or like the culprit, like someone like I don't know. You would doubt it would be the people like in the other escape, unless one of them is the culprit. So I guess it doesn't really wheedle out anyone, but it's Whittle. I think Whittle is not it, not Weedle. Weedle is the caterpillar Pokemon. But yeah. Anyways, we left the pistol for better or worse, and we took the a key that opens the door out of here. I don't think it was a specific key, and I can't check our items. So let's just continue off with that and let's see what happens. The hallway that left the cargo room headed straight towards the stern.
扉の先は長い通路か。とにかく進んでみよ
Junpei and the other three proceeded down it silently. Sounds kind of loud to me. No, I'm joking. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side. It looked familiar. It's the other side where the number door started, I think. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Did we get something important? I guess it was the key, and it had a double meaning or something. I thought it was just a random key, but I guess that wouldn't really be smart. A good guess. An iron grate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be.
う。ここは例のエレベーターの前だな。
さっきは左側のエレベーターから降りてきました。
Yeah, okay, I was right.
その後6の扉を開いて蒸気機関室へ。さらに貨物室を通過し。
Thank you for mapping that out.
そして今、もう一度ここに戻ってきたと。
つまり U の字を描くようにあっちからこっちへと回り込んできたってわけだ。
Junpei approached the elevator.
降りるときはカードキーが必要だったが。
ここには
Oh!
新しい機械は見当たりません。
Wait, no, I'm dumb. I remembered a card, but then I think I'm remembering the one you get in door number 3, which obviously we didn't go through, so.
ここからでは動かせないということかもしれないね。とりあえずボタンを押してみたらどうだ。そうだな。
Gently, he pushed the triangular button on the wall. A moment passed. Open! Well, I think at least we're not gonna meet. I'd be very surprised if we go up and see everyone's dead. If that's the case, then that actually clears Ace, kind of, unless he's a partner, which is actually something we should consider because I said we should before. But that'd be super surprising. Because also Santa's here, who's also suspicious. So, like, my main suspects are kind of with us. But it also took, well, actually, we never went in the store before, right? Or at least known. And I kind of doubt, one of the people who went through the first door, or, yeah, the first door, had enough time to go through door number 6 before me, Lotus, and 7 escaped. So I guess we don't actually know the time it takes to complete this one compared to the one it takes at the compared to the first door. Door number 1, right? That's what I mean. Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator. Honestly, out of the two escape rooms, we didn't really get, I mean, we got more Santa info, but it doesn't really like shape my impression of him. Besides, I feel a little better about him. Like, he kind of openly admitted he might be a little bit of a bad person, but I don't know. It's just the vibe. And at the same time, we got like very little Ace, but I still am a little sus of very early in the episode when Ace was like questioning how Junpei would open the puzzle with the key cards with her faces, and I still think it might be going off the idea that instead of Ace, like when he sees our picture, puts it to like our numbered bracelets, he has like a different order he would put it, and that's why Junpei's suggestion kind of shocked him a bit. Either that, well, actually no, I won't say that he's lying about a bracelet because the puzzle actually worked, so that makes no sense. And that doesn't necessarily even mean he's a bad person. It's just makes him suspicious. So still a lot of questions, but I guess we did get a bit, so I am happy about the information we got, besides the joy of clearing the escape rooms. Okay. Yeah. Smart. Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevator behind and continued down the hallway. Sometime later... Okay, what do we see from here? We see a couple of boarded up doors with metal. I don't really see any open ones, so... Can't see anything from here. Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped. Oh! Well, there goes that. They search around just in case. It was the door or nothing. Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open. Are we actually getting another escape? No, that's just the door animation. He paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room. And there he saw the number that had hung over their head since they'd woken up. Really? This is not the submarine place at all, I think. Yeah, this is not where the submarine's located. Very interesting. What the heck? I'm shocked. I guess we never saw the 9th door, but what if the submarine's actually a bait? Or like an alternative escape or something? Or this like gives you like instructions to get into the submarine? But yeah, this is insane. We can't even enter this door though, right? Well, obviously, because we went through 6. Like the number on every other door, this one too was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set into the back wall of the room. So that's interesting that no one actually went through this puzzle unless the person who killed us all like soloed the puzzles. But in the submarine ending, I mean, but it kind of just looks like he went into the submarine. And I actually learned through the comments that you actually get the key to the submarine through door 2, so it's very interesting. Actually, I just remembered we didn't actually go through door 2 in this one. We went through door 1. Lotus, Clover, and 7 went through door 1. So no one went through door 2, so no one has the key to the submarine. My interest has been piqued even higher than it was before. I'm wondering how necessary this is. I mean, it makes sense if it is necessary, but like, what if this is more like a truth door than an escape door, but that like breaks the rules, so it's probably not. I don't know. I'm just nervous since we finally found it. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. I don't see the red anywhere though. I see the red. Oh, we still have to imagine if the dead's like a super hard one to find in this. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed the door handle and shook. The rat sat on the wall next to the door. You know what would be cool? If this was a different way to leave and the submarine was an alternative way to leave, and like technically everyone could leave, like 5 people leave through here, then the 4 people would leave through the submarine, but I guess it's always ninth man never lives, so I guess like 5-3 or whatever split you need to make 9. That'd be cool, but it's kind of doubtful, but I don't know. Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart. And he knew all too well why. As he stood frozen, unsure of what to think or feel. What? He spun around and couldn't believe what he saw. Oh, there's 2. There's also a coffin. Interesting. So maybe there is a way for everyone to escape through the 9 doors. What? Let's not ignore this coffin. Junpei's voice was barely audible, even to himself. Oh, please don't make me choose between the 9 doors. There's no way I'm gonna guess right. If we just have to choose by appearance. He stumbled towards the second door as if somehow compelled. I'm sure there's like more to it. Or we'll learn more to it. It was a small single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room on the same wall as the door they'd entered from, but in the opposite corner. Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself. I am confused as you are. I mean, my only assumption is the first thing I said. It was Santa who answered. So everyone can escape, is what I meant. Ooh, I wonder if that means there are other numbered doors with the same number. But we've pretty much seen all of the ship and we've never seen it. Imagine if there's like another 9 door in like the one path we haven't gone for our final choice. Seek a way out, seek a door that carries a 9. It's true.
俺たちは勝手に思い込んじまってたんだ。無意識のうちに9の扉は1枚しかないってな。そんな。なんてこった。ゼロにしてやられた。9の扉は2枚あった。
I guess it would also, like, if people had the assumption that, oh, I need to kill, we need to trim the total number of people to 5 maximum, or whatever calculation you make from your own number, then this could kind of like also stump them, making that useless if there were 2 exits. Yeah. It's a nice trick.
4人と5人のチームに分けたとき、片方のチームの数字コンが9になれば、もう片方のチームも
You know what?
必ずその数字コンは9になる。
I didn't do that, but to be fair, the 9th person will always die, so it would be funny though that Zero didn't plan the 9th person dying, which would make sense. Like, what's the point of him being there if you're just gonna kill him? And there is actually just a party that was like, okay, we actually do need to trim some people, so it's interesting. Nice. Well, 9 or 2 is gone because one of the bracelets are broken for sure, so I think some people will be bones now.
一方の数字コンが9ならもう一方の数字コンも必ず9になる。これは一体何を意味するのか。簡単なことだ。つまり野なり9人全員が助かるように設計されたゲームだった。
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know, I feel like obviously it's a pretty easy comparison, but like it's kind of like Saw. I don't know, it's an escape type thing too. It's hard not to compare it, where it's like, I think it was Saw 2. It was one of the, it wasn't 1. It was one of the later ones where at the end you realize that if everyone just worked together instead of working for themselves, they all could have like got out safer. Like, I forgot what it was. It was like the blood draining challenge, and you need to drain a certain amount of your blood, or a certain amount of blood needed to be gathered to like proceed to the next challenge, but there's only 2 people left, so like I think one of them died trying to drain all their blood when if they like kept all the participants alive, or at least more of them alive, they would have been able to divide it more equally and everyone would easily pass the challenge, something like that. Actually, it really is pointing to that way, that there is that someone that's not, I mean, I guess it just made sense, right? That if Zero designed this game to save all 9 people, then that means someone who's not Zero, kind of, you would assume probably like someone very involved in the original experiment, or maybe not, that could have been Zero, but someone probably has been like murdering people like Snake and the 9th man or whatever, with the assumption that there's only one way out. I think. I don't know. That's what my gut's telling me, and I always follow my gut. It's a nice trick. I like it. Can we get a look at everyone's face in this room? I would love to see. Well, we know Santa's. I mean, again, Santa was very, very like, this is how it is or whatever, which always makes me suspect him. But we haven't seen Ace at all since entering this room. They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they'd done.
クソゲームなんだ。このノマリーゲームというもの、幸いなことに俺たちの間では9の扉の争奪戦は行われていない。だが一歩間違えば俺たちだって狂気に取りつかれていたのかもしれないんだ。
The thought of it sends a chill down his spine.
で、どうするよ、順平。
Meet back, I guess. But now with 8 people, I doubt we can't actually do that. So we actually do have to trim people. Maybe. I don't want to do the calculation, so I guess I shouldn't just. We should just say neutral on the matter, unless someone else tells me. Come on, Santa. A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice.
おいおい、しっかりしてくれよ。
悪い。
ったく、それでどうなんだよ。
どうって。
考えなきゃなんねえだろ。この先どうするべきか。
俺たちのバングルナンバーは1356で、その数字コンは6。
だがそれだと9の扉を進むことができねえ。
4人ではって、まさか。
Ooh, can we make it with 3? Calculations, I didn't even think of that. 6 plus 3 plus 5 equals 14. No. Oops. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 5 is 9? We can trim June. Oh no. You're not gonna make me actually try to trim June. There's no way. I'd literally like trim almost anybody else but June.
そう。3人でならたった一つだけ9の扉を進むことができる組み合
The
わせが。
bad thing is, like, what if we say no and they just jump us? Jump me. Or pull a fast one like they did in like how Junpei did for the number 3 door. Though, Santa's announcing it out loud and he got pretty pissed, so like, maybe he's not into that.
だから聞いてんだよ。どうそれは。
Don't do it, game. It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There's only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9. 1 3 plus 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. That would mean
いや、ダメだ。引き返そう。
you feel like Ace would also, like, just going by his personality that he's been showing everyone, he would also agree to go back and not go through the door. That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed. Okay. Everyone's in agreement. I assume Santa was too, because he outright told us he would have like tricked us or something.
だな。
Good, good.
私も賛成だ。紫君を左にするわけにはいかない。
Okay, so no slip ups at all. Interesting. I don't know. I thought we might get something from this conversation, but that went very well. Junpei let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. I wonder. So if we did leave, and there's only 4, 6, 7, 8, 25. That's 7. Ooh. Hey. Interesting. If we're right about Snape's body being a fake, then everyone can actually leave. But, like, there would also be a murderer among us. Or someone conniving. I mean, if Snape's alive, then... But that's interesting. So there is actually a way for both teams to leave the doors. If you have all 8 of the bracelets. We're sure, June. I'm not leaving you. I probably would have said no. I didn't trust the gut. I'm not leaving, June.
私は別に。
June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were wet with the beginnings of tears and her legs shook.
いいんだよ。 お前は何も気にしなくても。
Yeah. But I'm now happy that we can all escape. Even though we might have to case someone and take their bracelet. We also have to find Snape's bracelet. Which I guess you would assume the person who killed him would have it. Unless his bracelet broke and then the ninth man's was actually... someone actually had the ninth man's, then we actually wouldn't be able to escape with 2 teams. But the fact that there is a possibility for us to escape with 2 teams with 8 bracelets really makes me think that someone has Snape's bracelet and they probably faked the body. I think that's actually inadvertently added like a lot of evidence for the body being faked.
野郎3人で脱出するくらいなら海の底に沈んだ方がマシだ。
True.
ひょっとしたら織姫様に会えるかもしれないしな。
I don't know what he said, but he said something about a princess in Atlanta, I guess.
それを言うなら乙姫だろ。
Atlantis.
ああ、そっか。
Honestly, I didn't catch that either. Good one, Ace. Sure, there's a princess in Atlanta too. Perhaps it was the sudden reassurance that no one wanted to leave June behind, but Junpei laughed harder than he had in some time. It is a good feeling. I'm surprised. I kind of expected Ace to not do it, unless he was gonna make a sudden change in character, which would honestly make me just lock in my answer that he's guilty. I was more expecting Santa to be the one, but again, we've seen that he doesn't like dirty tricks like we did in the third door for the submarine ending, so it's good. It is good. Santa and Ace smiled. And it obviously, sorry. I think the one possibility we can cross out is the Ace and Santa team up. It is not a thing, because they would have just teamed up and because they can easily overpower us in June, easily. Though you can't say it's not one of them, because also, what if June, because I hate to say it, but the June and Ace thing, it still kind of bugs me, and I don't really know why. Just that one flirty scene from a long time ago. It might have just been that, but I still don't hate that as a combination. My combinations are Snake plus everyone, because he's dead, and I think his body is fate. So if he did that himself, which I assume, because it's weird for him not being in, like, what if someone kidnapped him and faked his body? That doesn't really seem that plausible, I guess. It doesn't really make sense to me. Anyways, so Snake plus anyone, but I guess Clover's the most suspicious. I really do trust Clover, so maybe not. I guess Ace plus... I don't know. It's so weird. I kind of don't like me liking that. It's just that one scene, so... But, you gotta take every scene and scrutinize it, so... But obviously a Snake plus anyone pairing, now that I think we got a bit more evidence for him faking his death. Might be a thing. June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
とにかくさっきのエレベーターに乗って C デッキに戻ろう。もしかしたら四つ葉セブン、ヤシロの3人が1の扉の探索から戻ってきてるかもしれない。
That would be very cool if we actually all meet up and not everyone's dead. If everyone's dead, then unless one of them's faking it, then Snape's definitely a killer. But I hope if everyone's dead, we actually check the bodies.
でも合流したとしても7人じゃ。
It's true, they're not thinking with the idea that Snape's arm piece isn't involved, so they might actually still think we need to trim people, which sucks. Ace knew it. They all knew it.
だがここに留まっていても仕方がないだろう。まずは他の3人と合流して、なんとか打開する。
Who would I trim? I don't know. I kind of like Seven and Clover a lot as characters. You wouldn't trim June. You wouldn't trim yourself. I like Lotus. It sounds kind of bad, but Ace and Santa are like the ones on the chopping block, even though they're nice. I mean, I think... I don't know. Don't ask me. It's just temporary. That's what I feel right now, though, because I kind of like everyone else a bit more.
さあ行こ
Ace looked at all three of them, then turned and headed through the door.
ああ
Santa and June followed. Junpei started towards the door, then stopped. We didn't talk about the coffin, by the way.
この部屋は一体何なんだ
It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it?
旧の扉のことばかりに気を取られていて
Oh, what kind of room it
調
was?
べてなかったか
It kind of looks like a... I thought it kind of looked like a chapel, but from the... Well, that's what I thought. Looked like a chapel or like a meeting room for like gangsters. But yeah, that's definitely a chapel, right? At least it kind of looks like something I imagine my old elementary school church. Besides the symbols, which looks kind of creepy. A red carpet ran between two columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
何かの色章みたいだ
Cultists? Are you telling me cultists are the ones responsible for this? Let me guess. A Titanic cult. Worshipping the Titanic. I mean, it's honestly... You know what's a better idea? I was going to say that's not a bad idea, but you know what's a better idea than that? Maybe a cult worshipping the mummy. The mummy girl whose name I forgot. That doesn't... that never thawed. That's probably a better idea than a Titanic cult. Facing the 9 door was the carpet leading to the bow of the ship. And at the end... It is very... I do not know what those flags indicate, but they actually do look very cultish symbols. Excuse my ignorance. Actually, that might just be... That kind of looks like a... I don't know. Looks similar. Isn't this the... one of the planet signs? Can we, like, look at this coffin? It is so suspicious. There's also a keypad on it. Was it an altar, perhaps? There's a small rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin.
次どうしてこんなところに
Can we investigate this first? I am creeped out. But before Junpei had time to answer that question,
おい順平何やってるんだ早くしろ
why aren't you guys interested in this? It's annoying. I don't like it. Santa's voice echoed from the hall outside. What if our answer's in the coffin?
ああ
I don't know what it would be
今行く
besides like the mummy, but Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room. Bang bang. Someone's in the coffin? What? Yo, wait. Oh my. I mean. Okay, first of all. Oh my god. Wait, I'm thinking. Give my brain some oxygen. Maybe? Because I was saying before that if Snape's body is fake, there's no way he did it involuntarily. It doesn't make really much sense. I can't think of like why someone would like kidnap him and fake his body, but like if someone's trapped in there, it just has to be Snape, right? Or the ninth man, I guess. But I feel like I guess his body was unrecognizable too, but it's a little like less clean because if you think Snape's death is fake, I just assume they used the corpse of the ninth man, so makes it a little less clean. But like, what if someone faked Snape's death and put him in the coffin? Why and how? I don't really understand how that would work because they need to get through numbered doors. So it wouldn't work unless there is an actual party of people doing that. And obviously it can't just be like Again, an easy candidate, Ace. But it doesn't make sense. You'd have to work so fast, get through all those puzzles, and get back. It definitely has to be multiple people. You need to go through the sixth door, but you'd also need to go through, like, other doors, right? I'm sorry, I have to do this. It's my combination. 9. Okay, I should have thought of that. How do you make 6? If you do this. So equals 9. Okay, I mean. Okay, I'm dumb. I can't think of a way to make 6. I guess it doesn't make sense. I mean, what else would it be if someone's trapped in there? Literally, the only other thing would be the freaking mummy girl. And I don't know. I mean, should I believe in the mummy girl? Also, why didn't that person knock when we were, like, talking? But maybe they just didn't notice. I mean, if it was Snake, you'd think he would notice because he has super hearing, so maybe it's not Snake? It's obviously an indication that someone's in there, or maybe it's just a red herring. I just don't really understand why anyone would be in there. It makes like no sense to me at all. I mean, okay, wait, actually, let's combine 9 and 2, which is obviously 11. How do you make 6? You need 5. Which is... Wait, no, you need 4. Ooh, wait, isn't this possible? So, 2 plus 9, which is Snape's and the Ninth Man's. And then you'd have Clover... Okay, so what if it's like... Not... Okay, what if Snape faked his death? He wasn't kidnapped and he put himself in the coffin. Why? I have no idea, but this combination made sense. Snake faked his death with the Ninth Man. So he took the bracelet. Clover helped him because him and Clover are a really easy team to imagine. He does that. Clover comes back, breaks the watch, put it next to the body to fake Snape's death, and like just chills. Why? I have no idea. I don't know. It's just theorizing, like, if someone was in there, how would it happen and who would it be? And, you know, since I think Snape's faking his death, it just made sense. But I just... It's hard to paint a picture, but this episode's actually pretty hype for a lore episode. Not gonna lie. The blood's pumping, the brain's on rev. Could be the mummy girl. I don't know what that's about. I really would like to see Clover in this room, though. Because Clover does seem to know what the ship is. Kind of. I think there's probably some modifications, because she seems surprised at some stuff. But she knew about, like, the... No, I mean... She said she knew what happened on the ship 9 years ago, right? But I mean, I guess there is probably differences for this game that's probably modified a bit. Maybe? But damn, I would like to see Clover's reaction. Anyways, that's enough on the nose brainstorming. We can think about it more later. Let's continue the episode. They took the elevator to the sea deck. Once there, they headed back towards the main hall and the central staircase. How are we looking at a flowchart, by the way? Ooh, okay. It didn't take them long. Nice. They didn't look happy. Okay, not nice. Okay. At least you're alive. That's good. I expected you to be alive. I'd be very shocked if they were dead, like they said before. Because Santa and Ace are suspect. What do you mean? The person I wanted to see the most, kind of. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. But, you know what I bet the choice is? You trim. So 1, 3, 5 are gone. I'm sorry, we need to calculate. 6 plus 7 plus 8. Okay, it's not. Plus 2 wouldn't be enough. Okay, I thought the choice might be like ditch Clover and everyone escapes, but let's not. Junpei and his 3 companions looked at one another. Sorry for ruining the tension. He turned back to Seven and Lotus. Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask. Where? Damn it. Ace, you ruined the why. The where, okay. I guess it was kind of a where. Seven and Lotus responded as best as they could. Oh yeah, we don't know. I keep thinking they went through door 2, but they went through door 1, so we have no idea what's happening in door 1. What? And she was gone? What? Okay. Honestly, it kind of makes me suspicious of the Snake and Clover combo. Oddly enough. I don't know why though. I don't understand completely, but it is weird. Okay, I was trying to say, was it locked? That would be weirder. Okay. So she didn't disappear. There is a trail that she just left on her own. Junpei thought for a moment. Okay. It was very nice timing. Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern. I hate it because, like, I feel like someone could use this opportunity to kill people, but I don't know. Don't really have a choice. Clover's has definitely gone up recently with some of the escapes. I really like her. There are quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the central hospital room and looked around. She was in, like... They searched a little longer, but with no luck. They couldn't find Clover. Finally, they gave up and left the central hospital room. I hope... Okay. Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs and Junpei spoke. Hopefully this didn't matter. Oh no. Because we kind of skipped through it when we were looking for Snake. Because I was thinking, what if they made... No! We trimmed ourselves! We didn't get an option! Which means we must have missed something! Oh, fuck. So you do need to do something. So our routing was wrong. I was thinking, like, what if we... Because we didn't do the search all over, maybe if we hit certain spots first? Ah. My dreams of a true route has gone. I mean, I guess we're finishing this route now. Jesus. Unlucky. And by unlucky, I mean unlucky. Guess we're not finding the truth this episode,
だから
guys.
紫、お前はこの階段を登って B デッキの方を頼む。
It also feels like this might be a bad ending
わかりましたけど
since they were all splitting up and the ending's coming up.
なんだ？
二人きりの時ぐらいその呼び方やめません？
あそうだな。
There's a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Although perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Connie. I hate that name. 9 years ago. It came naturally after they... I don't hate it. It's just... I just remember the submarine episode when they're dying and it was sad and Junpei was just like, Connie, Jumpy. Anyways, 9 years ago, it came naturally after all they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was just a weird translation that they called each other Jumpy and Connie. But from this, it actually sounds like it's not. It definitely does sound like he is saying Akane, not Connie, but I don't know. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't put his finger on it, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen one another for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that.
順平
She's saying Junpei-kun, not Jumpy.
なんでもないんだ。
それじゃあ私行きます。
I feel like we're dead. It's a bad ending. We hit the bad ending of the route and we're gonna die as we split up. Who knows, maybe the culprit's gonna go back and grab the pistol. Though they used a knife, so maybe they'll find a knife. I guess it just depends who the culprit is. If it's not Ace or Santa, then they probably won't be going back to get the pistol.
あ、気をつけろよ。またね。
He said Akane. June, or perhaps more appropriately, Connie, blushed and smiled.
順平くんも気をつけてくださいね。
わかった。
I skipped, kind of. My bad. Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, then turned around and took off for the hallway. I really hope it's not because I skipped the thing. I would be very sad about it. We're zooming, though. I don't know where. I guess our routing wasn't as clean as I thought. I thought it was pretty clean. Also, no one can just go to the yellow submarine because we didn't go through the second door. Unless someone went there next. Oh my god, no! Tragedy always strikes when one least expects it. But to wait for a man to stand before striking him down seems almost crueler than dealing the fatal blow while he lies on the ground. A light in the dark place, June's smile had given him hope, both for escape and possibly for something else. It was that hope that raised his spirits just enough that he might soon be fully dashed. He opened the elevator door and there she was. A woman sat slouched against the wall. Lotus. Junpei felt his blood turn to ice. Her body was limp and her skin smooth and pale as always. She was covered in bright blood. I was trying to see the wound. I can't really tell if it's like the hole in between her breasts. Is that a wound? Or is that like a slash thing? It kind of looks more like a slash from a knife, I guess, which made sense. I'm just nervous about the gun, but yes, this is bad end. I've already braced myself. I'm sorry, Lotus. Finally, someone calls your skin Like, what did he call it? Smooth and pale when everyone called you a raisin, and now you're dead. It's unfortunate. You couldn't. I'm sorry, I'm making jokes because I'm sad that we failed and sad that we're all dying after like a pretty fun episode last time. Junpei felt his chest constrict and he couldn't breathe, and his legs began to shake. A slow, cold drop of sweat trickled down his back. He felt his stomach somersault. Junpei's mind went blank. All his thoughts were replaced with endless hissing white. Driven by a little more than instinct, he began to walk towards Lotus slowly. Each slow movement of his stiff limbs brought him closer to her corpse. Finally, he stood next to her. Robotically, he bent down and put his hand against her neck. There's no pulse. No rise or fall of breathing. She was slightly warm. Something somewhere in Junpei's shaking mind told him that meant she had been killed recently. Yes. Yes, Junpei thought, his mind slowly returning. She had been killed. Someone had killed her. You would like kind of assume that it wouldn't be like one of us four because we know everyone can escape. But like actually not everyone can escape, I guess, since we don't believe in the snake bracelet. But you think the killer would, but I guess not. I don't know. There's a deep cut on her left side of her chest. Blood still oozed from it, although clearly her heart had stopped beating some time longer. Okay, confirming it's a cut, no gun. Interesting. The weapon had been a knife then? Perhaps she had been stabbed in the heart once. She would have died immediately. It took little comfort from knowing she must have suffered very little. Only then did Junpei notice. Lotus's bracelet was gone, as it was in the... Oh, it was gone too in the submarine ending. Let's just do the math of 2 plus 8 equals 10. But there's so many possibilities. It just doesn't matter, I guess. I don't think they took Junpei's bracelet though, because he kind of just fell in the water last time. Guess it doesn't really matter, but they do need Lotus's bracelet. Was that why the killer had ended Lotus's life? So that they might have the number 8 bracelet? If that was true, then the killer was whoever wanted the number 8 bracelet. It doesn't really matter, I think. Or perhaps more accurately, the person who would gain the most by obtaining bracelet number 8. You can't really math it, even if you just take 8 by itself. The killer ended up killing everyone, so it didn't really matter. Who is that? Who would benefit the most from the number 8 bracelet? The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when... Thought he would have given me a hint because I had no idea. He heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. It struck him as strange as the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain, there was heat, extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. I guess we should just see if I'm sorry. What goes well with this to make I mean, I should know this. 18. But you can't have 2 8s, so it literally doesn't matter if you just take 8 plus 2 plus 9. Which would be 1. Which would mean you need 27. And from 27 you'd need 8 again, so no hints. I'm sorry, we're being stabbed, but it's just unfortunate. We're making the best of a bad situation. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Please look around. Hint, 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 hint. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. Your hint's not enough. Who would benefit the most from the 8th bracelet? I have no idea. I'm sorry, Junpei. I can't carry your will to the afterlife. His voice was a little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But no go. But as he did, the knife dug itself deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. 2 tiny images of the killer reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions, not anger, not sadness, not regret. We know it's 2 killers. I always keep forgetting to pair people up, but please. The paralysis that claimed his body had reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. I can't tell from the freaking footsteps. It sounded heavy, but who the fuck knows. Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone. His eyesight began to fade, the world grew blurry and began to dissolve into an empty white fog. The fog crept the edges of his mind and were inexorably inward. I don't know about that word, but it's not a Google moment. Soon it swallowed up the last remained of Junpei's mind, and his consciousness left him. There was nothing more. Into utter emptiness he fell, into zero. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. God damn it. We know it was 2 people, but it doesn't matter. It's a bad end. And there's no choice, which means we just fucked up the routing, I guess. I mean, I guess that means... It just made sense for it to be Snake, but now I'm a little more confused because of the freaking coffin thing. Because if you think about it, because in the submarine arc, everyone appeared dead besides the killer, which meant that there probably was one other person alive, and I just assumed that's Snake, but I don't know about the coffin. It's messing up my mind. What's this ending called? Cut and run. It's frustrating. Yes, I would. Let's see. Well, we got another bad ending. Ooh, it's locked. We missed a key item in... Huh? What? Because we went this route? I guess. Oh, it's telling us how to get the other ending. I understand. So we had to do the middle route. What was this again? Laboratory. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to look at the flow chart. You fucking... Fuck. Whatever. We can find it again. Stop. 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 Why is this locked? It's locked because we went through a different route, but it's because we didn't go through this way? I am so confused. If anyone wants to fill me in a little bit, if it's not spoilery. I don't really understand why this is locked. I can understand this because we literally didn't go through that route, but... Or does it mean we missed a key item or something, or a key choice, and I just don't remember? It's interesting. I'm gonna not hear the ship explode. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that bad ending. I did not fulfill my my declaration of getting a good ending, but hopefully next time we will find it out. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. If we're gonna go for this ending again or just go to the leftmost route, but we'll see. We'll see next time. So thank you for watching as always. Hopefully you enjoyed, and yeah, quest to escape alive for once. We'll start again next time. Bye for now.